Hi. So, when this goes up, it'll have been 10 years of me uploading on this channel. It all started, as many stories do, with Super Smash Bros. 4 analysis on the game that was going to be released. And suffice it to say, it took the world by storm. But I just wanted to make this because, one, I mean, you don't have your channel turn 10 every day, but two, just like to say thanks to you guys, like, as I don't make videos like this often. And something I want to work on is just kind of being more. I really have turtled myself in a shell with this YouTube thing for several reasons. Because frankly, I'm here to just make the videos. You guys are to watch them. The rest of all of that, the clout and the algorithm, all this weird, bizarro world stuff that, to me, in my pedantic brain, just doesn't make sense how it all relates. I'm just like, well, why does this matter? I'm just trying to make good videos, but I don't want to turtle like that, because I think some of my favorite memories have come from my interactions with my audience. But yeah, it's been 10 years, which is hard to really wrap my head around. I watched a Jacksepticeye video, and literally this channel's been a third of my life, not a tenth, a third of my life, which is crazy. And I think the more cynical sides of myself call myself a failure, because and this is just due to, but I mean, let me just be honest. I don't really give a shit. Like, I thought I'd be a lot further. I thought I'd be doing a lot better. There was a lot of inconsistency with the channel. Like, for example, some of you have come and maybe you watched the channel when I did the Smash speculation or Know Your Moves, or then I started doing reviews, and then the depression years, and then I took a whole break. And 1, 2, 3, 10 years later, it's crazy. Obviously, I have a pretty positive outlook on this. I hope that's obvious. I think it's important to look back on things and see the good and the bad. But, I see some of it as a failure because, I would have wished that I was in a better financial position right now, able to pursue the projects I wanted to do. I think for me, a big thing about becoming an adult and becoming aware, like just knowing myself better, becoming happy with self-love and everything, was accepting that I had a big issue with success-driven parts of my life. It became a point where everything had to be some sort of success-driven, success-based aspect of my life. And that can turn relationships, that can turn friendships, family dynamics, as well as your own artistic endeavors. It can completely nullify them because the thing you're chasing is not... Okay, I guess the best way to put it is and I think this is a trap a lot of young creators and even creators that are my peers fall into. So maybe tell me if this is something that rings true, is you do a lot of this and it becomes a validation game where I think a lot of us who enter this space are often, hermits. We like to stay inside and do the things we like to do, and no one really understands editing and these video topics and these game reviews. But we find online that people can relate to that, and it's rewarding when you make something and people see it, and you're like, wow, I'm being seen. People say that they like this. This was a big problem with me because, and I never really talk about, my family or home life, but I was largely neglected, in my family life. I was the only boy for a while. I just truly didn't really have any male role models. My dad wasn't a big part of my life, and that really stunted a lot of aspects of my growth. I was incredibly introverted, socially anxious as well, and that really prevented me from, I think, pushing myself to opportunities that otherwise would have came easy to other people. I just feel like maybe my development was a lot slower in life, but that's just kind of the game, right? Since then, now that I'm aware of that, a lot has happened. I've come around the full circle of YouTube. I think through my experiences with YouTube, I've become very confident and strong, because it really does chip away at you. The comments, the harassment, the even small stuff where you're not being recommended, right? In the algorithm, it really hurts you. You feel very much lesser when things aren't going your way. And the swings are so big. It's literally gambling. It's what it feels like, because I mean, I recently got into poker, but like it's such a good analogy where just like sometimes you will just have the best of swings and things will be like, you're like, I'm doing so well, and then crashing down. By the way, I don't have a gambling addiction. I mean, just like casually with friends. Just let me put that in the in terms of the actual game theory of that game and the actual how it goes, it really does feel like YouTube's a whole gambling thing. When I was at the worst points of basically my life, but also my YouTube career, because they surprisingly intersect, 2019 to like 2021 were some of the most difficult years of my life, but also years where it fundamentally felt like I was torn down. Everything about me, every sort of insecurity, every sort of like coping mechanism was completely destroyed, completely bodied, zero to death, four stocked, just destroyed every part of my life. And I really had to build myself back up basically alone. Basically when COVID started, I moved to the city alone because of a lot of family issues going on at home. So we have a pandemic, that's already like whatever. But then I'm moving out of my home because things were not good at home. I lived on my own, supported myself, and I didn't talk to my dad for all of those years. And then he already had cancer. He passed away in 2021, and it's like, it's a lot of closure that I didn't get, and a lot of, I mean, I'm at least aware that it definitely fucks with you in terms of your whole life lineage when you have an absent parent pass away and you don't get closure on a lot of things that maybe you wish you wanted to. Besides all of that, the whole YouTube thing took a hit for sure. My content over the years, I know I was depressed, and my content very much resembles that. I was not in the best mental state to make strategic and wise decisions, which is why I decided to take a break in 2022, because I knew that I was really like, I don't think I want this anymore. I really had to like tear myself down and really see what I wanted out of life and just take a change of pace, which I did. And since the year of being back, I feel so happy with what I'm making now. It took a little bit for me to get up and running again, and YouTube does not like when you take a break. Like, holy shit, my shit was not being recommended. Like, it could be people don't want to watch, but it was also that it wasn't being recommended. It was crazy. Like the website is, I've heard some bullshit where it's like, no, you're just not making good content, and I'm like, yeah, but this is like everybody, even big channels are like having issues, right? It's definitely different now. It's different. But despite all of that, I've never been happier making content, because I think I've removed a lot of the validation side of the YouTube stuff. Not in a bad way, like, oh, I'm going to ignore you, I'm going to prove to do better, because that was sort of a thing I did. But no longer is I'm like, it does suck when a video doesn't perform well, but I'll be honest and be like, yeah, that sucks. I'd like to make more money. Wouldn't we all? But, you know, my self-worth isn't shaken nearly as much as it used to be. And I've really come to accept, you know, I'm cool if I don't get to 1 million subscribers. It hurts to think about, you know, the past, and maybe things could have went differently. This variable could have been changed. I could have done something different, but I know that like, I would have made so many different choices now if I had known back then, but that's just a part of life, right? I see this YouTube space as something completely different now. And I think it's because I take gratitude a lot more in my day-to-day. Like, you know, I'm just grateful. Like, I'm standing right here in the middle of fucking nowhere. I know like thousands of you will watch this. That's not little. And when we go and like take a look at numbers and equate them to this or that and compare to other YouTubers, it's like, yo, but like you all are here, like you're all human. Like just quantifying that is crazy, and it's hard to do. So we just see it as like a game, right? So I guess, you know, one of these videos coming from a channel like myself, because I think we've all seen lately the swing of YouTubers who have maybe decided they're quitting, or they're like, I'm tired, I'm burnt out. But if I'm going to be completely honest, a lot of those channels have like millions of subscribers, and I'm like, you can like actually quit and go wherever the hell you want. This is just you like deciding your career path. You're probably set at this point, or at least you'd have to make a lot of bad choices to not be set. If I'm speaking out of turn there, I apologize, but I only speak from my own experience where I'm like, yeah, I'd have to go and completely, my friends are off to the races, like purchasing homes right now, or getting ready to have kids, whereas I would have to reset. Like I'd have to go and, find a new job and work my way up that job, and it would be like really, really hard. And the best thing in my life right now, I'm still grateful that I get to do this content. And this is not me like complaining or anything. If it all stopped like tomorrow, I'd still be like, yeah, that was a very worthwhile part of my life, because I think now I've just reframed what I seek out of life. And a lot of that has to do, you have a family member pass away, but you also go through a lot, and it puts into context what really is worth valuing. And that's why I say I probably never stop making content, because to me, if it doesn't get views anymore, I still want to make it. And now I think I'm more confident than ever that I can grow this channel. And if it doesn't happen, that's all right. But I feel very confident in my abilities, my script writing. And this isn't like I'm cocky or nothing. I'm like, no, like factually proven. Like there's content on my channel that does well. I know I have good ideas. This is the weird micro niche that I am like geared for. It's incredible. Like I keep saying it, it's like a broken record, and I don't want to say anything that's empty here, but I'm just trying to demonstrate that it's like, I don't think, if we don't appreciate where we're at, like in terms of success or what we're aiming to get out of life, we are never ever going to appreciate it when we get there. We're just going to want more. We're just going to constantly crave to seek bigger goals or higher mountains to climb. So if we're not truly happy with ourselves and where we're at, and actively, taking a second each day to appreciate our life, then I don't think then what's the point? And that's sort of where I'm at. I don't want to put time into this channel if it's just going to be a grind. I've never felt that way, but I at least am confident now that whatever I start uploading here, it's going to be sort of what you've come to expect over this last year. And I think I've really narrowed in on what I want to do exactly. I think my problem is I have way too many ideas, and I want to do all of them. And when it's just a nature. Like if you try to put too many things on your plate, you're eventually just going to fall apart. It happened to me so many times where I'm like burnt out because I'm trying to do so much. So this year, I'm going to actually make the wise decision to focus on this channel, but not burn myself out with it. Focus on the stuff I think is where I perform best. Once I get to a better financial place for the business, I want to make other channels. Like I've said before, like in passing, like, yo, know your moves. I totally would. If I had won the lottery, I would have 12 channels. But let's say a Smash Bros is announced. I'm going to make a speculation-based channel exclusively. And that's all I'm going to be doing. And that's sort of just the through line here is I do have such a love for this. I love making these videos. This has been a part of my life since I was 10. This is me, bro. I'm not going anywhere, because I think this is what I'm meant to do. And I think it's once it makes a lot of sense. I feel a lot more confident in myself. Maybe some of you have been a little bit worried about me, concerned about my mental health because of the past few years. Let's not mince words here, but I'm doing great. I'm happy. I think I've just found the things in life that are worth doing, and I'm more so I'm pushing myself towards being the best version of myself, and not in an empty platitude way. I literally mean no, go explore, go learn new skills, try new food, literally just enjoy this life. Lately, I felt really good about everything I'm doing. And there's always more to learn, and there's always more to improve on with yourself, and that's what I'm attempting to do. But at least where my mental space is at, it's like a calm, a prolonged calm, where I'm like, if this channel doesn't work out, then that's okay. But I think that is it. It's a beautiful day, and I'm really glad I came outside to do this. I was gonna sit at my desk, but I'm like, that's fucking boring. What the fuck? So yeah, here's 10 years, and I'll see you in another 10. Maybe I will have hair at that point. I'm actually thinking to just go full circle with the meme and then eventually have hair again, because that would just be really funny to be yeah, so remember I was bald? I actually got hair. Let's go, baby. Holy shit. This is where I was, by the way. It serves to remind us about YouTube, where even if we've fallen down, we can create something beautiful and new. just to end it, thanks. Like, I don't know how to quantify a thank you in terms of this, and you didn't have to watch or anything, but those of you who comment, those of you who sit in the streams and joke with me and continue the memes, and those who run the out of context accounts, those of you who sit in the Discords and we share memes and they continually do the daily, pay your respects to different animals, those of you on Twitter who share me your favorite stuff, those who have made fan art, and those who have become patrons or channel supporters. It's all just incredible that I've been given this. I'm not a religious guy, but I feel blessed. Like, so I'm gonna do my best to not let that go to waste, and I'm really optimistic about this year of content. Like, you have no idea. I feel like the best is like not even close to come. I didn't mean to say come. So I'll see you when that happens. And now I'm gonna go take a piss. I'll see you on the flip side.